So good morning. Hi, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak to you and interview you like this. It's brilliant because it just gives everyone else who wants to consider therapy an opportunity to understand more about it. So we've been working together since November last year.
Yes,
yeah, and we've been doing sort of weekly sessions every 2 weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, a bit often when I've needed it, but
yeah. And tell me, would you mind explaining to us why did you come and see me?
So I originally found you in that trauma workshop. I went through a lot of trauma when I was younger and I just didn't know how to deal with it. So I just by chance found your workshop and went and saw you and met you. And when that session was over, I just felt like I was compelled to keep working with you because I just felt you were the person to get me through what I needed to get through. Almost at that point, I didn't really know what it was, but I knew you'd be the person to help me understand it and get through it. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to start the one-to-one therapy with you. And literally since that point, I've felt like I've come leaps and bounds. I was, at that moment I met you in November, I was suicidal. I was really down, really depressed. I was just crying every day. And yeah, the person that I am now, today, is completely different. I think you'd even see it in me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, today's session has been like an oh my gosh moment, hasn't it? Because you made a statement and said actually that you feel so much less triggered generally, that it's actually quite weird feeling this way.
Yeah, I was so hypersensitive to everything, so emotional, and almost couldn't control it. Whereas now I feel so more in control of my emotions. I can stop and sit with it and feel comfortable in what I'm feeling. Whereas before I just didn't know how to deal with anything. Everything overtook me and my body, and
very intense feelings.
Really intense. Yeah.
And your anxiety was so sky high, your stress levels was so sky high, everything triggered you.
Yeah, I couldn't even really go out and meet people without being really social, like felt such social anxiety. Even though no one would see it inside, I would just be, my heart rate, and I'd be shaking, sweating, and I just always tried to avoid meeting people, seeing people. So yeah, it's completely different now.
And you said it's actually quite odd feeling, if we like normal, if we use normal.
Yeah, I feel like this is what normal people would feel like, be able to go through life and really enjoy and see things through a different perspective. And yeah, it's strange. It's like being in a new body almost, like seeing the world so differently than what I did before.
And your journey with sort of depression, started when you were in your teenage years, weren't you? And I know that you had quite a difficult relationships growing up.
Yeah.
Very close relationships with your parents, and it was quite tricky, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't really have a relationship with my mum. She was quite volatile. I then went through my teenage years kind of without any caregivers, to be honest. I then just fell into quite deep depression, trying to find relationships and not getting kind of what the nurture that I needed. So I could only turn to myself, and it just put me in a really dark hole, and I just did not know how to get out. And all I knew was survival. You have to survive somehow. And I don't know how I did it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, you were, we did find your internal resiliency because you did survive and you did come through that. But you felt really up and down all the time, didn't you? It was really up and really, really down. There were more downs than ups when you came to work with me.
Yeah, definitely. So I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder just because when things would happen, I was so over emotional, and everything would take control. That emotion, that one small emotion would take so much control that it just led to a really dark place. And any little emotion or any fight, any disagreement, any comment to me would always lead to a really dark place, because I just didn't know how to deal with it, or that everything I took was so negative, and I always thought it was something wrong with me or against me. I never knew that anyone could live how I'm living now. I really didn't see the other side of it for me personally. I just didn't think it would ever happen.
And today we spoke about emotional freedom, didn't we? We spoke about like, what does emotional freedom mean, and like, what is it to you? I mean, you know, you said to me that you always believed that who you were, you know, you based your now on your past, and it defined you, didn't it? All those feelings, those really harsh emotions, and the stuff you endured, went through, heard, really made you, didn't it? And you didn't know that life could be different without it, and now you're very much in tune with yourself.
Yeah, so I always thought, obviously, what I've been through has made me who I am today, and all those emotions I had to keep and had to hold on to, because who would I be right now without all of those thoughts and feelings? And how I treat people is obviously an outcome of that, and I stand by how I treat people and things like that. So it was really hard to let the darkness go, because I kept feeling I needed to feel that to be able to be good. Is almost how I felt, whereas now I feel like you need to put that behind you to be able to really help people in a way that I don't feel like I could help people and get to a place where I am if I hold on to that darkness and that place. So I can only let that go and appreciate that that person got me to where I am now, almost. So it's kind of like grieving your past self, so you can kind of be reborn and feel how I'm feeling now.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing journey. And your plans for the future are so bright now, because you yourself want to help people who feel like you.
Yeah, even the thought of giving myself that future, that freedom of, you can do whatever you want to do now. You don't have to hold on to that and be in that dark place and only do so much, and limit yourself to things because you can't do them. That's not how I feel now.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so pleased. And we did we did everything, all the therapies, didn't we? We went through all of them. We hit your brain really hard, but we also worked very somatically. We worked with your body and your brain, and you really got stuck into, and you were a really good student, weren't you?
Yeah, definitely needed it. I didn't realize how therapy could help your body as well, and I feel like that's equally important as your brain.
And the brain spotting work we did was quite phenomenal, wasn't it? It had a massive bearing on you. Yeah,
it's quite surreal, really, because it's not the therapy that you would typically think. It's not the talking or the looking back. It's really concentrating on kind of the here and now, which is not really something that I'm used to doing. So,
and connecting with your inner dark feelings, thoughts and emotions, which were quite hard for you at the start, weren't they?
It's also labeling them. I think I've never sat with those feelings to really think about how I'm feeling and how it's affecting me and what my body's going through. I never ever done that. So that brain spotting's really opened a space, a safe space that I could really heal, I think, connect the two, and really think about what's happening and confront it.
We did a brain spotting session now, and it was really quite short, and you were able to deal with the feeling really quickly, and it went. And that's quite liberating to you, isn't it?
Massively. I think I remember the first time I had that brain spotting, I cried, and I couldn't understand what it was, where it was coming from, and every week we've done it, it's got less and less, definitely. Like my body reaction, my emotional reaction, it's definitely less and less. And I think it's one of the things that's really made my therapy what it's been, and how I've become.
And now our sessions are all about your future, about planning that, and you said to me I just think this is lovely. You said, I have to fill this void of normalness with something, so we have to find.
It's like those dark memories and dark feelings have gone, so it's opened up such a space in my mind, my body, my heart, my soul, to really now, what do I fill it with? And I've never ever felt that I could get to this space. And credit to you, you've really helped me get here, and I wouldn't have never got here this quickly as well without you and the help that you've given me. So,
but remember, as I always say, you did the work. You did the work. You had the determination. You wanted to do it, make it happen. So that's testament to you. And when you put your mind to it, you can do it. So I look forward to your future.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, and thank you so much, because this will, I really hope this will help other people. So I'm really pleased. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.